Renee wants to connect with her tall boyfriend. Taller than you boyfriend. Does he have a mustache, or did he ever have a mustache? And did he used to grab the front of his pants? Like, I feel like he grabbed the front of his pants. I see him wearing a belt, but it just feels like, it's not like his pants were hanging off and he had to pull them up. It feels like he wore a belt or the pants fit, but I feel like he just had a habit of kind of hanging on his pants. And, he used to sing you songs. Like, he'd have these little cute moments and he'd sing these little songs and he'd kind of look at you, I feel like. Or there's these moments. Just these little moments. Maybe it's not a song. Maybe he's not necessarily singing, but maybe he's wording, you know. Maybe he's saying it. I don't know. But there's, like, moments that I feel like you guys had where there was little flirting. Okay. That's cute. Okay. Did you guys, when you were in the car together and you were driving, because I'm kind of seeing this view out the window with a lot of trees, did you guys go somewhere, or do you live somewhere or in a state where there's like lots of trees and green? And I say that because, like, I live in the desert, because a lot of people are like, there's trees everywhere. And I'm like, well, not necessarily, because where I live, there's no trees. I live in the desert. So when I look out the window, I know that this place feels, okay, that's a place you guys live together. That makes sense to you. Okay. Is there deer where you live? Deer specifically? Would they have deer crossing signs where you live too? Because I feel like I see a deer could cross. I don't feel like a deer did cross in this picture that I'm seeing, but I feel like there's this vibe that you could see that kind of wildlife. Okay. Thank you. And, so did you guys kind of go on road trips and stuff too? Is that what this is? It feels like a road trip too. It kind of feels like you would go little places, like, I don't know, diners or theaters, or I don't know. I feel kind of like eclectic too. You're welcome, Missy Love. I feel like eclectic too kind of vibes. Like, you guys like that chill stuff. It feels kind of like, you know, just peace, you know, and not too dramatic of energy. Not that you couldn't have. I feel like you had. Maybe you guys had a long-term relationship. Maybe you had a lot of that too, but maybe this was calm time. Maybe you had a balance of that. Okay. I'm hearing you weren't around for something. You weren't around. She wasn't there. She wasn't around. What does that mean? She wasn't around. And she didn't cry. It's either you didn't cry or you were like in shock. You know, I think it took you a minute to really get to that place of crying, but I feel like you really didn't even really cry. I think you feel very angry. Okay. Okay. So I feel like this person was very much, you know, in love with you. I feel like he feels like you were his person, and I think you need to know that. I think you didn't feel that. And I think he wants you to know, like, in the whole big picture of life, you were his person. But he's you know, I'm not getting too many details, and nor should I go all into it, but I just do feel like there's anger and on your behalf, and I feel like you were shocked, and I think that you need to process some of that grief, and I think that he would, you know, he would want that for you. You know, he would want that for you. You should want that for you. You know, like, I think in some ways this hinders you. You know, when you don't let stuff go and you don't feel it and you don't process it, it can really hinder you in your life and create a lot of blockages and lack of flow and confusion and, you know, cloudy thoughts. You know what I mean? And So it's like really important to kind of face those things that hurt us. I feel like you feel it in your heart, you know. I feel like it hits the core of your heart and it's dry. It's like this dry hitting. It's I can't even say it. It's like this dry, harsh, cold feeling in the heart, you know. And I feel like you need to go to that place, and you might need to cry. You know, you might need to relive it for a second. But I think when you do, you will understand very quickly why that was necessary, and that you will shift quite fast into next stages, next moments, next possibilities really fast. And I think you've been kind of lacking that in your life. So I hope that helps you, Renee.